Go hard day and night, 1-1, no surprise, see the hate in their eyes.
What up?
My brother's bumming. I got the game in the squeeze. What would you do for some green?
What up? Welcome to Monday Night Football.
Some people not built like that. Some people get killed like
Sports show.
like water, lights, mortgage, I've been at bills like that.
Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show, Bills.
Some people music, right? Me, I got a war for some. Some people need knives and guns.
Called trenches.
Some people got a war for none. Me, I got a war for some. Some people need knives and guns. Same ones just talk and run. Where my friends go, use a symbol. When the ends low, switch the tempo. I go right, I go hard, I go die, I go fight, I go down, better strike, I go hard day and night.
Let's go.
Money on the books, ain't all that.
Do it, bro.
Let's go. It's called the trenches because we in the trenches right now. Going into the playoffs.
Yeah.
It's going to the playoffs last week of the year. Last game of week 17. Welcome to the show. We're going to do a little Bills and Bengals today. Bengals. All right, we got it coming up. Let us know what you think. I don't think we got anybody in there right now. Y'all listen. If y'all hear this later, share it. Like, comment. We always comment. Y'all come back and comment later on. No matter what's going on, we come back and comment on your comments. We don't do it live on the show, but we appreciate you watching the show now, if not on the repeat. So, big game tonight. A lot of, I guess you can say playoff implications because this could be for first place. This could be a playoff preview. This is the first time that Josh Allen has gone up against Joe Burrow's team. Yeah, so it's a big game. What are your initial thoughts? Right now, it looks like, what is it?
2.5.
2.5 point favorites for the Bills, right?
Bills 2.5.
Yeah, so the Bills 2.5 favorites on the road, so that's a pretty good favorite. I mean, if you think about it, usually you get 3 points just for being at home. So Bills are getting basically 5-point favorites, if you look at it that way. So what's your thoughts here on this game? Your initial thoughts here. What are you looking at as far as
initially, man, this game will shake up the team. Because right now you got the Bills 1, Kansas City 2, right, and Cincinnati at 3.
Right. Yeah, if the Bills win, I think they move into first place.
Clinch. I think the Bills will clinch and have the top seed if they win.
I think so.
I'm pretty sure they.
I think it might still come to the last game.
Last game.
Yeah. For that first
So,
place. I mean, it's home field throughout the playoffs. I think that's even more key than probably getting that first round bye. I think the just having home field, no matter where you play or what team you play, you're going to be at home. So that's always a plus. But, this is a big game. Probably considered 2 of the top 3 teams here. If not, some people consider Cincinnati possibly the way they've been playing late. They consider them the favorite. Some people think Buffalo's a favorite. Some people think Kansas City's a favorite. So there's a lot of implications here. What's your keys here to the game, and then you can give us your prediction of what you think is going to happen in this game here.
Man, when I look at the keys, man, the Bills teams, man, both teams are complete teams at this point. To me, it depends, man. But for me, the Bills have won like their last 4 games, so they have done well. The Bills have won their last 4 or 5 games, and then when I look at the Bengals, I'm gonna pull their numbers real quick, man. And the Bengals, man, they look relatively good as well. The Bengals they've won like their last 3 or 4. Well, they won like their last 3. They lost to. No, they beat the Chiefs. They actually beat.
Yeah. Both these teams have beaten the Chiefs.
So like powerhouses at this point, they both won their last 4 consistent. Man,
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So the Bengals are on a 7-game win streak. For the Bills have won the last 6.
So, man, when I look at to me, both sides of the ball, I love the defense that the Bills have. My gut, man, I really think that the Bengals can edge them out and win this game and boost their chances of either finishing second, at least finishing in the second.
Okay. Okay, you were going on and talking about 14. Now you're saying they're going to edge them out? What?
Listen, bro, I'm always going to go with my gut, man. And look,
thanks to our Twitch follower.
Listen, bro, when I give you a number, man, I'm always going to stick to my guns. When we played Georgia, played Ohio State. Okay, that was outrageous.
You were way off there. You said 21 points by halftime. You guys are sweating. You guys are like this.
Listen,
that's how you guys would realize. Like this. I know that last kick. You guys you were praying. You were praying, man.
So, bro, when I look at let me change my score. The Bengals win by at least 3. It's gonna be a tighter close
Bengals
game.
by 3 now. Okay.
14 is very drastic.
Okay.
And who needs the game most? The Bills need this game more than the Bengals do. The Bills need this game.
I can see that too, because I think Buffalo has a lot more pressure because so many people picked them to go to the Super Bowl. Preseason Super Bowl favorites. I think there's a little more pressure on the Bills to win this game. I think the Bengals last year, I mean, they came out of nowhere. There is some pressure on them since they were the Super Bowl representatives last year. But, I mean, they kind of came out of nowhere. No one's really picked them this year. They had a slow start to start the season. So, I don't know if the Bengals have as much pressure. I mean, they're playing a little more free. So the Buffalo Bills have more pressure to win this game for sure.
If the Bills confidence in them getting home field advantage, and I would say this right here, I think that if the Bills and people have to go through Orchard Park to get to the Super Bowl, it's gonna be tough.
Okay,
that's what I think.
That's what you think.
Farewell on the road. I mean, the record has repeated itself for 2 years. Lost twice on the road. 2 years in a row where they lost at City. They can't win.
So you think the Bills would be better suited playing at home throughout the playoffs if they want to go all the way? Okay. And you think the Bengals are a better road team?
Because if the Bills ain't at home,
right.
At home, I'm definitely gonna go with somebody like a Kansas City or Cincinnati Bengals team. I'll say this right here, and I'll get off my soapbox, man. One of the top 3 teams, one in the AFC, will make it to the Super Bowl. Everybody else that's like 4th, 5 shot at all.
So top 3, one of them's gonna make it. Okay. Now I think this matchup, you got Josh Allen and Joe Burrow. They've never played each other, which is kind of surprising that they've never played each other up until now. But they both have good defenses. You know, both of them can throw the ball downfield. You have Stephon Diggs and Gabriel Davis. Basically, that matchup for the defense, for the Bengals defense, and then you have Chase and T. Higgins to open it down the field. So I think that how the wide receivers kind of perform in this game is going to be key. Which one can get some big plays down the field. And I think that's going to be key to this game. I think the running game, I mean, Buffalo hasn't had a very good running game throughout. The running game's basically been Josh Allen using his legs, running the ball.
And
they have been inconsistent.
A little bit of Devin is mostly Josh Allen.
Yeah, mostly Josh Allen, of course. And so that's the running game. So they have a running game, but it's the quarterback. So that's what they're worried about. They're probably going to have a spy on him. That's what I would do if I was the Bengals, have a spy on him, because that's their run game. I mean, you don't want them to have Devin Singletary to have a great game or anything, but you have Joe Mixon. I think the Bengals have a better running game as far as being able to run the ball, move the ball. So we appreciate you watching the show. Those of you jumping on the show, let us know who you think is going to win between the Bills and the Bengals. Big game today. We're just talking about what's going to happen. And I just think that the wide receiver, whichever wide receiver duo, being Diggs and Davis or Jamar Chase and T. Higgins, whichever one of those guys or that receiver core can get off and make a couple of big plays down the field, I think is going to be key to this game. And I think the Bengals have a little bit of advantage there because of their run game. You know, like we said, Josh Allen is the run game for the Bills for the most part, where you have Joe Mixon and what's that other boy's name? P. Ryan. You have P. Ryan. So you have a little more potency, you know, running the ball. And then so I think that helps the Bengals be able to control the clock a little more, be able to run the ball and be able to open up the passing game, where the Bills have to basically they rely a lot on Josh Allen. And I think it's going to be tough, but I think that they should win this game. I got the Bills probably win this in a close game, probably a 3-point game. I think Josh Allen's going to come up with a big play in the end, and they're going to pull this game out. And I think so. I wouldn't be surprised if they lost, but it's going to be a close game. Like I was telling you, you had it by 14, but I think you were just having a little too much Hennessy. But
nope, not Hennessy. Not Hennessy Reserve bourbon.
Woodford Reserve? Okay.
Man.
Okay, my chaplain told me about Woodford Reserve. He said it's pretty good.
See?
Yeah, he's a guy. He's a bourbon guy. He's got like 10 or 15 different kinds of bourbon in his house or something. He's like a big bourbon guy. Yeah. Anyway, but enough about that. I only know that because my chaplain's a bourbon guy. But yeah, so yeah, I think the Bills are going to pull this out. I think the key to the game is.
What do you think? Okay, so Flo.
Yeah.
Give me 3 keys, and why do you think the 3 keys you give me that the Bills can win this game?
The Bills? Okay.
Yeah.
I think Josh Allen. I think they're going to have to be able to run the ball just enough. I think they have to run the ball with Devin Singletary and James Cook and those guys. Be able to just get enough out of the run game. Probably Josh Allen's going to play a part of that as well. But I think they have to get a little more out of the run game so that you don't have to rely on Josh Allen. That's a key. If they can get some of their run game going and maybe get Singletary and James Cook and those guys, give them a little bit of a few good runs here and there so that it's not all on Josh Allen. That's one key, I think. I think key number 2, I think for me, maybe not, I think the receiving core's got to do well, but I think Stephon Diggs has got to have a big game. Stephon Diggs has got to have a big game.
He's got to show out.
He's got to show up. He hasn't played. I mean, he had a pretty good game the last game against the Rams, I believe. So he's had a couple of good games. He did have against Miami. He struggled a little bit in Baltimore. So the teams that have better defenses, he struggled a little bit. But I think you need a Stephon Diggs. You need him to get to about 10 catches, over 100-something yards. You need him to get you a couple of touchdowns. And I think Gabe Davis is going to be the guy. He's going to be a key for these guys in the red zone. Gabe Davis can be a guy who can get you. He's a bigger receiver. He can help them down the field. So Stephon Diggs has to have a big game, I believe. And then probably the third key, I think the defense has to make some stops. I think they got to make a key stop. And either a key stop or have a turnover late in the game to kind of help seal the games. So those are my 3 big keys to this game as far as the Bills. What about you for the Bengals? What do the Bengals got to do? 3 keys for the Bengals to win this game.
So to keep the keys, the Bengals definitely have to. The defense has to be solid. The defense has to be solid. Provide protection for Joe Burrow, so that Joe Burrow they can open up the running game with Mitch Higgins and be able to throw the ball when they need to throw the ball. So I feel confident at this. I had to go back on what I said, man. I said 14, but a tight, close-knit game. And I think whoever wins is going to edge it out by 3, man. Like I said, it's going to depend on their defense.
Okay.
Joe Burrow showing up. Joe Burrow
protecting Burrow.
being able to Burrow, but then open up the run game so you can utilize the run game to make ways for make passes when you need to make passes.
Okay. And I think that's going to be tough because, I mean, I think Joe Burrow is still one of the more sacked. And you know, we always put that up on the offensive line. I think last year it was. But this year they've tried to shore that up. Sometimes I think Joe Burrow is one of those guys that kind of he moves in the pocket sometimes and he puts himself into sacks. I think he's a little bit like Dak Prescott in that. He can't sometimes he'll get away and make a big run. Sometimes he'll get away and make a play, but sometimes he'll like work his way into a sack. And a lot of those sacks sometimes I think are Joe Burrow's fault, even though they blamed a lot of it on that offensive line. I think some of the offensive line does place a part in that. Joe Burrow also, he moves in the pocket in such a way that he puts himself in danger of a sack just because, and sometimes he holds it too long and that kind of thing. And so things like that, I mean, you can only hold those guys down for so long. So he's got to be able to get rid of the ball, make a quick decision. Sometimes he's waiting for that big play too much, and he gets sacked for that as well. So I think he just got to make quick decisions, take what they give you, and worry about the big plays, you know, when they come. Let them come to you. Don't try and force them.
So what I was saying, like I said, man, be overzealous, man.
Yeah.
Overzealous. Just
well, I mean, he wants that big play. Right.
And you utilize the offensive line and utilize the offense to work in your favor, not you. That's what I think. Right.
I mean, he's gonna have to. He's starting to learn that. He's got 4,200 yards, 34 TDs. So I mean, he only 12 interceptions, 102 passer rating. So I mean, he's played well. Josh Allen, you know, similarly has good. He's got 13 interceptions and only 32 touchdowns. So he's kind of underperformed. You know, this year than what people have thought. He's got a 96 passer rating. So he's had a few more interceptions, not as many touchdowns as you would think. He's only averaging 268 yards per game, and Burrow's got 284 yards. So Josh has struggled towards the end of the year, but I think a lot of it has to do is that they haven't had a good running game. And I think if they can set up a game plan to where they can not have to use Josh use his legs as much. Yeah. If they can establish the run game early, I think the Bills. If I were the Bills, I would be establishing the run early. Hey, we're going to be dedicated to the run, whether it gets you a yard or 4 yards or 10 yards. You know, don't just shy away from the run game. Stick with it early, and I think that'll pay off later on in the game if they establish the run early.
So out the gate, man, if it's me, I want to talk. I'm not going to. I want to go to see what my offense can do. You know,
right.
I mean, I also bring my offense up first.
Yeah, I think Stephon Diggs for sure. Stephon Diggs for sure has to have a big game. He has to have one of those games where he's got multiple TDs. He's got at least 2 touchdowns, over 100 yards. He's got to have one of those type of games. He's only had one game where he's had multiple touchdowns, and so he struggled in that area. It was against Tennessee. He had 3 touchdowns in that game, but the rest he's only had 1 touchdown, or sometimes he has 0. So they can't afford for Stephon Diggs to have one of those 0 touchdown games. He needs to have.
Right.
I think he has to have a couple of touchdowns this game for the Bills to win. If Stephon Diggs does not have at least 2 touchdowns, the Bills will probably lose this game. I think he has to have multiple touches in the end zone in order for the Bills to be successful here. He just has to have a big game, and I'm thinking he's going to come through. I think he knows this is a big game. Stephon Diggs is a big-time player, and I think he knows that, hey, he has to come up big in this game if they want a chance to beat the Bengals, who have been hot of lately. They've played really well lately, and they've played ever since they got that slow start early in the season. They've played really well since then. So, you know, I think they were 2-4 early on. I can't remember. 1, 2.
Bengals were.
3. They were like 2-3, 2-5, 2-5 or something like that. 2-3 or something. They had a losing record. You know, the first 5 or 6 games. You know, they were below 500, and that's a tough start at the season. And then they came back, and now they've been like on 7-game win streak ever since they lost to the Browns back in October. they haven't lost since then. You know, they've had an easier schedule. They had Carolina, who's okay, Pittsburgh. They beat a Tennessee team who was doing really well at the time. They beat Kansas City. They beat Cleveland again. Then they beat Tampa Bay. And then most recently, they beat New England last weekend. And so they've played well. I mean, they haven't been over. The thing about the Bengals is they haven't been dominating team. They just played well enough to win games. They've made enough key plays to win games. So that's why I didn't think it was going to be, like you said, a 14-point game. I don't think they've beaten anybody by more than 7 points. Maybe I think Cleveland, Atlanta, they beat you guys by almost 20 points. But that was a long time ago. Early in the season. They haven't. I think they beat Cleveland by 13 a few weeks ago. So that was kind of a big win. But Cleveland, I think Deshaun Watson had just come back. You know, they were still trying to adjust to that. But if it's good, I think if the Bills win, it may be a blowout. It could be because the Bills are that kind of team. They can jump on you early. If it's a close game, it's going to be a toss-up. But if the Broncos do win, it'll be a close game. I don't think it'll be a blowout because the Bills are capable of blowing people out really quickly. But they've struggled. You know, they've struggled in close games. That's the thing about the Buffalo Bills. They've struggled in close games, but lately they've done better at that. You know, lately they've done better. They lost a close one to the Jets early in the season. They lost an overtime game to Minnesota, but then they beat the Chiefs in a close game. You know, they also beat Detroit in a close game. When Detroit was starting to, you know, get some steam. They also beat Miami in a close game a couple weeks ago. So they're able to win close games now and proving that they can do that. But they don't want to be in a – to me, I think they want to blow out the Bengals, you know, get a good lead and make the Bengals have to get away from what they want to do, which is run the ball.
Early.
Yeah, let's jump on them early. Yeah. What are you thinking? Hey, congratulations to your Georgia Bulldogs. They're going to the national championship against the TCU Horned Frogs. Congratulations to the TCU Horned Frogs. I know you were sweating bullets. You're in trouble, man. I tell you, that's a bad matchup for y'all. That's a bad matchup for y'all, man. I'm telling you.
What is the spread on this game?
Did they have a spread already? They have a spread already on the game? Is that next Monday? When is that game? Next Monday? National championship. It's always on a Monday, right? They ain't put it up yet.
I don't think they got a spread out. Yeah,
they'll probably put it out this week. Yeah.
Kind of early.
What are you thinking? Any thoughts? Anything else? TCU. That'd be a good game. TCU versus your Georgia Bulldogs. I think your Bulldogs are in trouble. That's gonna be a tough game for you guys. That's a bad matchup. I told you, you want to play Michigan if it's a national championship.
Yeah, Duggan, man. That's what I'm scared of.
Yeah, Duggan. Max Duggan's a bad boy. Plus, they got that Johnston receiver. Johnston's a bad boy too. Number one, he's a bad boy.
But then you got
the
front four.
And to be honest, I've seen them play all year. That defense is very opportunistic. They come up with turnovers when they need them, whether it's a pick, whether it's a fumble recovery. They're very opportunistic defense. They're not great. They might give up a lot of yards and things like that, but they do bend and not break kind of defense.
But they run, man.
Huh?
They can run you in the ground.
Yeah, they can.
They can utilize you down, and that's what they did against me. They ran them dry. They ran them down.
Yeah, and then Michigan had to get out of what they were good at, which was running the ball. They had to start throwing it a little more. And then the quarterback actually had better legs than I thought he did. He ran around pretty good, made a couple plays with his legs. McCarthy, I think is his name.
It's a tough matchup for Georgia. I
mean, to be honest, Stetson Bennett may have to run around a little bit to get some stuff with his legs. I mean, I know he can move a little bit, but I don't think that's his forte. I don't think that's what he's really best at. So.
He's a pocket passer, man.
So, yeah. We'll see what happens. That should be a good game. So, any final thoughts on this game tonight?
Man, I'm sticking to my guns. Bro.
Yeah? Sticking to your guns?
Man.
All right, man. That's good,
Right,
man.
bro.
Good talk, man. Hey, let us know what you think. Appreciate our Twitch guy. Always shows up. I'm assuming it's the same guy or gal, whatever, but we appreciate the Twitch guy. Thank you so much, man. Always on the show. Always showing up. We appreciate you guys. Let us know what you think. Who's going to win this game between the Bengals and the Bills? I got the Bills. Canteen's got the Bengals. We'll see who wins. Watch the show, rewind it. Go make some comments. Hey, we'll comment to you next time. So, but hey, man, have some fun. Watch the game. Enjoy, maybe some pizza, some wings or something, and maybe what is it? Woodford Reserve. Woodford Reserve. Is that your new drink of choice?
We have retired Hennessy.
Huh? Okay. All right, man. Hey, we'll see you.
Right, bro,
Enjoy the game. I'm sure you're going to be texting me during the game if they start winning. I told you.
You talk too much.
You talk too much, bro. You talk too much, bro. All right, man. We'll see you next time.
See you, man.
All right, man. Take care.
Yep. All right, bro.